Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Cassie if you are unfamiliar with me. Welcome back if you are a longtime follower. That's who I think I am probably talking to right now. But some of you might be curious why I have been gone for a hot minute, and I'm sure a lot of you actually know that I did move recently. We only moved an hour and a half. We are a military family, and you'd think an hour and a half wouldn't be so dramatic, and I feel like I am being a little dramatic, but it's still took a lot out of me because the move took a month. We started getting our stuff packed up on the 16th, which meant I had to have everything ready to go for the movers to pack things up and start putting that on a truck. We were told it was only going to take a couple days. It ended up taking 4. And then we weren't able to move away from the location we were at until a week and a half later, 2 weeks maybe. Because my husband did have to finish up his job, and then we moved here, which, like I said, only an hour and a half away, but we did have to live in our trailer for a little bit of time. Total, we lived in the trailer for about a month, and that was great because I told my husband if I have to live in the trailer for a month, I would love to have a washer-dryer combo if possible. So he did find me a used one, and that made living in the trailer amazing. Of course, living in the trailer, sometimes things happen. We did have a bit of a water leak. It is so hot and humid down here in the south where we are. So, you know, let's just add a little bit extra to the already dramatic move that we're doing. And so we did have to take that in. We moved into the empty house that we are now in currently and lived in it for a couple of days before our things showed up on the 18th of July. Yeah, 18th of July. So we went from the 16th of June to the 18th of July before we got our things. And we have done quite a few military moves. We've done a lot of military moves. This is our 7th move with the military. And I will say this one seemed to be a little bit worse, only because so many things were broken on this other end. And you'd think things only going an hour and a half wouldn't have been a big deal, but I think what had happened is they were using new moving companies, and in the middle of our move, the government did fire the contractors, and so we were like, what does that mean? I don't know that it hindered or helped or anything like that, but I do know that we have a lot more broken things. Every one of our mattresses showed up to our house completely unwrapped. My lamp over here is busted. I thankfully have lots of tape, and so I've, you know, rigged that up so that it'll at least work until I can get a replacement. There's a few missing things. We ended up getting other people's things. It was quite a deal. I'll just say that. But I'm also older, and so unpacking boxes and everything like that definitely took a little bit longer than they normally do. Also, we downsized probably between 800 and 1,000 square foot. I mean, we downsized that much, and so we had to make sure that we were putting things in good places and not just shoving things places. So my office that I'm in now I'm actually sharing this with my husband. So before I had my own nice, big, beautiful office, and it had lots of open light, which was great, but you know what? This room works out really well too. I was able to put all of my IKEA calyxes, the 2 I have, in the closet. They work perfectly in there. I did downsize a lot of my things as well, but I do, like I said, I have to share this office with my husband because he is now a student again, and so he has to do lots of schoolwork. So anyway, it's been quite an ordeal. While I lived in the trailer, I was able to make cards, just not able to make any videos, so that's why you didn't see a whole lot, and the ones that you did see, I had really made ahead of time so that I could be prepared for this move, and now we're here, we're settled. I am, for the most part, pretty well put together. Still trying to find things as I go because, you know, trying to put things away quickly, you know, it was something. But I will tell you, super fun to unpack a craft room, only because you start to discover things that you're like, I forgot I had this. And so that has been a lot of fun to discover those things and think, I'm putting that in the rotation of stuff I want to use. So, but that's you know, that's where it's at. If you have any questions, you can leave those down in the comments down below. I don't know if I'll get back to lives anytime soon. I know I haven't done those in about 3 years, but I am in a good spot. This is great, and I want to get back to making videos. And I do want to try today, let's get off that move, and let's move on to showing you some stuff. Trinity Stamps recently had a new release, and I want to show you those products. And then I want to try a different style of video today. I want to make a card with you. So we're not going to speed it up unless you want to speed it up, you know, move it quicker. You can do that. But otherwise, I'm going to have my stuff ready to go, and we're just going to make a card, and I'm going to talk. And I'll talk while I'm doing it, you know, showing you and sharing what I'm doing while I make the card. And then I'd love to know how you feel about that format. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so let's jump into it. I know that the release happened a couple of weeks ago, and I got my package shortly thereafter, and there is a lot of really great stuff in this release. Just fun stuff, really, and I would highly encourage you to head back to the Trinity Stamps channel. I'm going to see if I can remember to link it down below, just so that you can go and check out like maybe the whole release that Carrie does, and she has examples, because I don't have examples of all the things, but I do want to just kind of come in here if you like this format of how I'm going to make the card and just do cards, because that's super fun. Sometimes it's the editing process that takes the longest, which is why oftentimes for me recently videos have not been coming out. So all right, let's get started. We've got this really cute, let me push these off to the side, I guess. Really cute. It's called Hoot Hoot Hooray, and it's a nice big stamp set. It's got all these really great sentiments, and you can even change it up a little bit. So you got Hoot Hoot Hooray, All I Need Is, you got Who, you got a small who and a small who, as in WHO. Owl be there for you. Every little thing will be owl right. You got look who's, you got is, yeah, turning you, birthday, it's owlsome, but you can do your, so like the Y-O-U-R-E, you are, and you can also do like your, as in this is your, like possessive, Y-O-U-R, you can, you know, kind of make that however you want. You have a year older, did it, and have, and having. And then you've got all these really adorable owls. So you've got 3 little owls, and you've got all these fun little accessories like graduation cap presents, a little nightcap. You've got a cute little cupcake, some presents, the birthday hats, just fun stuff, a balloon, this cute little hat there with like the little, I don't know, we know what you call it, but it's got like the little propeller on top. And there are matching dies to go along with it. So you've got dies for all the words and all of your little accessories in there. Now this piece is actually masks, and they're a little bit thinner than like a stencil, so these are gonna keep you from having that ghosting. If you really wanted to like keep flat cards, this is the way to do it. I haven't taken it apart yet, but I'm excited to give these a try, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. So if you were somebody who likes to mask, these are permanent masks basically. You can reuse them over and over and over again, clean them off and use them over and over again, rather than having to fussy cut out using masking paper all the time. So if you like to mask, that's the way to do it, and you don't have to cut anything out. All right, so that's really, really cute. We've got a couple of Simply Sentimentals. You guys know how I feel about those Simply Sentimentals. We have this one, it's called Simply Sentimental Special. And you've got special in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different fonts. And then you've got all the words to go along with it. And, you know, achievement, greetings, delivery, extra, toast, you are so, wishing you, birthday, very occasion, a wish, recognition, announcement, someone, day, and to, card, for, super, you're this, to me, on, in, to us, of, is a gift, friend, have a. So another reason I really love these Simply Sentimentals is not only do you have so many options for one word, you can combine them together. Like you can put special with happy or whatever, all the different ones that are out there. And then you can mix and match these words that are in here to make just about any sentiment. So They're fabulous. And then there are dies, so they match. You can get these separate, and you can use these separate if you want, or you can get them to do the shadows of the stamped words. I like having both because I like to combine these words sometimes with the die cut, and you know, vice versa. So it's a lot of fun. And then we also have sweet. So this one's Simply Sentimental Sweet, but you can, as you can see, sweeter, sweet est, and then you've got est and and you can do that with all, or sweetie, that's another one that's really cute. And this, the font on this one is a little bit different, and I love that. So it's not the same little type font as this one, but boy, is that really cute. Wishing you a sweet, oh goodness. So all those, a little treat for a friend, so sweet. Here's to your, wishing you ever my success, heart, then candy, there is no one, birthday, holiday, as can be, wishes, you are so, for my 16, oh that's cute, like a sweet 16, pie, person, have a sweet pea, oh I love that. Then you, oh that just makes me want to make a baby card. To, or you make life, the, a, friend, and your. So it's really first time I've got to really look at that one. I love it. Oh, I'm gonna be using that. And then of course we do have matching dies to go along with it, and then you can make them bigger if you need, because they also have sweet and sweeter, you know, you can add them to it. You can do it separate. Also, this is good together. So keep that in mind. Oh, so excited about those. That's great. All right, we're going to bring in a stencil and a die cut, and this one is called, the die is called Cut the Cake. And the way I understood it is this die will cut right out of like a panel, and you'll have the pieces of the cake cut out. This could be the shadow if you wanted to do it that way, and you could do them together or however. Use the extra pieces that you have and piece it together. You have a couple candle pieces that go together, and then you have like your cherry, your flame, and the two pieces of flame that go together. But what makes this really cool is there is a coordinating stencil. So you can use the stencil by itself, like completely not even use the die cut if you don't want, or you can stencil it. You know, you've got your icing and your stand, and then this is the cake in between the icing, and then you've got your candles. You also have the flame that goes with it. And then you could die cut it out if you want to. Or, like I said, the stencil by itself. But I really like this. And of course, I'm going to have to pair this with a light up. It's screaming to be lit up, right? Maybe one of the blowout candles from Pearblossom Press. Because, yeah, love that. Or you could add more than one candle on the top, and you could use the, you know, the easy lights or one light. That's fun too. So that is going to be great. And then along those same lines is you take the cake. And it's the same sort of concept, I guess. And you've got all the die cut pieces. You can die cut all those out. But this one is going to coordinate really well with a light up from Pearblossom. It says you take the, and then of course here's your piece of cake. You've got happy birthday, and then you've got blow it out. So if you wanted to use it with the candlelight from Pearblossom Press, this would be a perfect one to go with it. You even have the little arrow that shows you where you got to blow it out. You got your icing. This is just a really sweet one. And like I said, I don't have examples, but if you want to head to the Trinity Stamp store and take a look, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Okay, so we have a couple of emoji add-on. I don't know if you... So I've got several of the emoji. I've printed out the, I need to do that for these too, but so you've got the basic emoji builder, and then you have your sick and tired emoji builder, and then you've got your emoji all hands add-on. So it's a bunch of different hands, and there's even a zipper. You can make a zipper in there. So, and then you've got the little like eyebrow face stuff, and super cute. But then they also have the celebration emoji add-on, so you can make a hat. You've got like the lips, the eyebrows, the eyes, all the pieces. You can even make the little blow thing. So very cute. So, but yeah, I do need to print out the little things to go with it. So I gotta get going. We have this circle die frame, and so these are great because it cuts out this frame, And I think this is also going to go really well for interactives if you wanted something to be orbited. Like if you wanted to use this as a channel, you could do that too. And so you got your circle die frames. Along that line, we've got the slide and spin. So you could do, these are channels. These are all different channels. And this is going to go really well with a brand new product from Pearblossom Press that is going to help things slide along. And you're going to want to have it, I'm sure of it, because I definitely want to get my hands on some too. But yeah, so these are all different channels. These are going to be great for your interactive cards, and I feel like these kind of go together. Okay, this is so fun. It goes with the circle die cut card, the circle card, and it's called the Buildable Burger Circle Shaped Card Add-on. So you have your cheese, you've got your lettuce and your outline, and it even has an embossed bit to it. This whole piece, or these 3 pieces, will make a pickle. These are your seeds for your bun. And then we also have lettuce, and you can make your patty, and then you've got your pieces to make your onion and also your tomato. So lots of fun here. I've seen some really cute cards from the design team. I can't wait to play along with that one. So that's fun. We also have this mini album tabs. So if you've ever wanted to turn any of your circles or any of your shape cards into like a mini album, this is the one to do it. You could also, this would be cute to add to the top of like a bookmark, and you could add cute stuff with it. But you also have your reinforcers, and you can get to decide how big you make your, whatever it is you're wanting to make into a little mini album. I know Carrie from Trinity has made some really cute album stuff, and there's, you know, you just have to go on to the website. Like I said, I'll have it linked down below. All right, we also have the Sunday Swirl. This is a alphabet die, and so you have your uppercase and your lowercase letters all the way through the alphabet, A to Z, and then you even have the ampersand, your exclamation point, and a question mark. So these are going to go really well with some of the other like sentiment things that are in there, and it's just cute. It's great, so you can make up your own sentiments. All right, here's a big one. It's called the Candy Jar. I think this is a re-release because I think in the very beginning, Trinity Stamps had this set. And I've got all these extra add-on stuff to go along with it. And it's going to be fun to play with. And I know if you head over to the Trinity Stamps channel, you're going to see there's already a bunch of fun things that people have done with this set. And if you like candy, and also we're getting close to Halloween, so this could be a lot of fun. You've got your candy jar. You also have lollipops, and you have different pieces of candy. Gummy bears. A couple of these are going to be your solid piece to just like, you know, stamp the gummy bear or stamp the little gumdrop or jelly bean or whatever it is you're wanting to stamp. And that way you can just do like a 2-step stamping there. It does have matching dies for all the pieces. Not only does it have the die to cut out your jar, but there's this die which cuts the center out. And then you can make a shaker, and there are cards, there are examples for that. You're also going to get a couple of these dies are going to be really good just to like make your own candies, like this little jelly bean. I don't think it goes with this jelly bean, and I think there's another couple in here if you just want to make your own little pieces of candy in whatever color you want to make them, like this little heart and I don't know, little circles like gum or whatever you want to do. You could have a lot of fun with that. So that's really cute. There's also a coloring stencil. So if you don't want to color all the pieces, you've got your coloring stencil, and it all lines up. It looks like there are the 2 stencils, and you can color all the different pieces inside the stamp set. That's really fun. And then just like the owls, we have masks. So it's a very thin material. It's not the same as the stencil, so it's a little bit thinner. And you have these really great masks for each of the pieces if you'd like to keep it one layer. So that's great. I'm excited about this set for sure. I love that there's so many possibilities with it. That always makes it fun when you can do a little bit extra. So I'm going to just keep all these together, and I'll have to make something with that. And then last but not least, this is what I wanted to make a card with today, is this one, because it's just I just really want to make a card with it. And so we're going to do the Grate Grillin add-on. This goes with your circle-shaped die, or circle-shaped card die set. This makes a donut. You can make pizza with it, whatever you want to make. But there are so many add-ons. You can do the emojis. You can do this grill now. So the grill is great because you've got your grill pieces. You also have like a steak, a hot dog, a burger, and there's also a Grate Grillin stencil. So you can stencil all your pieces. These will do grill marks on your pieces. These will color up some of those pieces. But this is what's super fun. This is going to be the coals. So I want to work on doing that one. For a background, because I think I want to try to make it light up. I don't know. We're going to see how it works. But I'm excited to try that. And then we also have the grill deal. So you've got Barbie Cute, Well Done, Smokin' Your, Thanks a Grillin, the grill deal, Invited, Grillin' and Chillin', and then you've got some like little steam marks. But there's also matching dies for all of those. How fun is that? All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started making a card. And like I said, I want to do this Grate Grillin add-on, so we're going to set things aside and we're going to start working on our piece. Okay. I want to get started on the actual stenciling because it might need to dry a little bit. So I pulled out this cardstock that I have. It's a very, very light gray. I think it's actually some retired, my favorite thing since they're closing. Like soft grout or something like that. So it's a very like deeper than white, but not quite gray. And I thought that would be perfect for the background so I could really add to it. Now I want to have this die cut out to fit on the card and go behind our grill. And so I'm going to use the Clean Cut Layers Circle Set A. And I've already pulled that one aside because I kind of tested it. I have A and B, and they're both great because, you know, they're just slightly bigger or smaller than the other one. And so you have tons of circle options. And then you can always find something that fits your project. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to go ahead and do the grilling, or I'm going to do the die cutting first. So I'm going to die cut out the piece that I want. All right, so there it is. I can save my scrap for another time. And then I can put my circle back in here. I might need that, so I'm going to keep it back. I think I need it for the vellum I want to use. Okay, so let's pull out our stencil. And I'm going to use, tell you what, I'm trying to re-put together my craft room after the move. I'm telling you. One, like I said earlier, I discovered all kinds of fun things that I haven't seen in a hot minute, but then I also, I better put that on there. I also, now I knew where things were in the other house. So that's always fun. Okay, so I'm going to circle that or center that on there. I do have a little piece that's showing. I think that would probably get covered by my grill, but just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and just stick that on top. All right, I want to start with a little bit of, probably like a little bit of an orange. Oh, another thing that Trinity Stamps came out with, and I will use these, are these adorable little mini blending brushes, and they come in these little cases, which are great, but they're just as soft, and that way you can work your stenciling into smaller areas, so you don't have to use the big blending brush all of the time. So, you know, so there's the difference, but it's the same brush type. And so I have a few. I've got 6 of them. I think I'm going to have to get a few more because I do like to have one for every color. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm using some Simon Hurley Create Stellar ink. This is Guppy. I like these foam pads that they have out now. And I'm just kind of adding a little bit of that color. I don't need it to be the same thickness all over the place. In fact, I just wanted that down So we're going to bring in some red. I'm not even going to clean off my stencil, to be honest with you. Just going to go over the top of it. And we're going to bring in one of those new blending brushes. Little mini one. I like it. Oh golly, those are so soft. All right, so we're going to do a little pounce. And I'm just going to bring that color around. I want to keep, definitely want to keep some of that orange, but I want to make some of that red more intense. So it looks like the coals are actually, you know, going. These are so cute. This is the first time I'm using them too. And I don't know, there's a lot of different brushes out on the market right now, and lots of different companies have lots of different brushes. I do like how these fit into your hand pretty nicely, and there's a bit of a wedge, so if you can see that, it's not just like, so you got a little bit of a wedge there, so that'll give you, like, if you just want to get the tip of that in there, you can do that too. This is fun. Oh my goodness. Oh, I haven't sat and made cards, just like having a ball doing it in forever. Okay, I think I like how that is going. So at this stage, because I have a pretty good amount of color down, I could very easily pull away my stencil and clean it off. And I think that's what I'm going to do, because I do want to bring in like a little bit of the black. I want to bring in some of the black so that, you know, because they are coals, they're going to be, so I'm just going to leave that there, and I'm going to clean this off really quickly. Yeah. So now let's put that back on there very simply. There we go. Just as easy. Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit of that black. Okay, I think I'm just going to kind of because you know how coals kind of look after they've been, you know, sitting for a minute. We have a black stone and we cook with that a lot, so we don't have like a regular little grill anymore. Haven't for a long time. And I would suggest, you know, coming in, going in very lightly, and then you can start adding pressure as you know, start in those grooves where you actually have the stencil material, and just start working your way down to make it nice and soft. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm starting in those little areas, so I don't lose the integrity of the orange and the red. But boy, is that pretty. I really like that. Let's add just a tiny bit more up here. All right, I think I like that. And then I'm not sure how Carrie had made hers, but it sure looked pretty. And then we'll just add like some hickory smoke to the edges. And we'll use our big but just have fun, you know. And like I said, some of that edge is mostly going to be covered by the grill, but I like having that. Oh, that's so neat. It almost looks like it's glowing. All right. And I definitely rediscovered my like distress sprays and things like that. So I think I'm going to pull those in and kind of really loved what Carrie did. So I kind of want to mimic without really knowing what she did. I want to mimic it. So we're going to grab a couple of colors. All right, found a couple of, I've got Distress Oxide. This is the Iced Spruce. Definitely a bit of a gray. Probably going to make a huge mess all over. But all I really want to do is add some splatter to it. That's all I really want to do. And I do have the Empty Tomb mica stain, so we can get... I don't have all the colors. When I'm sitting there looking, I don't have all the distress spray stains. I don't have all of the Distress Oxide sprays. I don't have all the mica ones. I did get a few. Let me grab. I do have some of the Distress Spritz in the colors. But I'm not going to use any of those today, I don't think. So. Okay, so you can see I did a little bit of splatter on that. The reason I chose this over the regular spray is this is going to have like an oxidation and it's going to kind of sit on top. And this one's going to have mica in it that is shiny. So I do want a little bit of that too. Should probably heat set that. But I think we're just going to do this. I'll heat set it in a second. I don't want too much of this, but I do want some of it. I think I'm just making a mess. All I'm really doing. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Sometimes I have a tendency to take it to the next level and not in a good way. Okay, so let me peel this off and we're going to heat set that. Woo! Okay, so I do really like how the Iced Spruce did on top of there. Check it out. It looks like this beautiful gray. It sits on top of the color really well, which is nice. Kind of picks up some of that color underneath. And then if I add it to the light here, you can see a little bit of that shimmer from our Empty Tomb. So that's really pretty. Okay, and then I do have a mess I gotta clean up. Like, I highly recommend a splatter box if you're new to splatter, if you kind of have done it for, see, I've got it everywhere. Probably should have used a splatter box, but I was being a little bit lazy. Either way, whatever, here we are. And you do want to, of course, watch out for your clothes. You don't want to get anything on your clothes. Okay, so I think we're done with this for now. All right, so let's cut out our grill. I'm probably not going to use any of the meat, although that's a really cute idea. I'm going to do the grill. And what's cool about the grill is, you know, I'll probably just do traditional black, but you could do red. That would be really fun. I've seen those red Weber grills. There's also the green ones like the, oh, you know what? I'm going to do it like a big green egg. That's what I'm going to do. We don't have one of those, but I like the idea of doing it in a dark green color. So we're going to do that, and then this part is going to be out of some dark gray. Check that out. Love it. Yep, I like that. So my old office was a hardwood floor, which was great. Don't have that now. I have carpet again, so trying to shimmy around in my chair is sometimes a challenge. So I might do it right in the middle and see what that does. Okay, and I always use my magic mat. I know that's old hat, everybody uses those, but if you haven't tried one, they really do make a difference, and I haven't had to buy plates in so long, which is so nice. Because, you know, that's one of those things that I don't, it's like adhesive. You don't always want to buy adhesive, right? Or, you know, I just don't. I want to do fun things. So, all right, we're going to chuck these pieces because I don't need them. I could always attempt to put that together. Boy, that'd be something, wouldn't it? I don't know if I have the patience for that. I don't think I do. Okay, so that's going to go over the top. Oh, you can see the grill nicely. But I think, because I want to try to make this light up. I'm going to see how much that subdues when I use a piece of vellum underneath. I mean, it subdues it pretty good. That's okay. Definitely don't need to do that. I'm going to cut the handles out. Now, there isn't a separate die for that. But I am going to do it. So I'm just going to cut out the handles. Then I can put those on there. Cut them down, put the handles on. So all I'm going to do is just trim that off. And I can add that too. And is it necessary? Nah. It's just an extra little detail that I think I like. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down. And then you could cut it out of black if you wanted as well. But I think what I'll do is I'll just use like a marker. So I'm not adding too much bulk. So all it does is just add a little bit of that gray to the edge. Completely unnecessary, but just a little extra that I wanted. Okay. All right, so I've got a Sharpie black marker. I'm just going to, it's a paint marker, so it's not gonna like soak into the, but all I'm doing is adding just a little, like a black handle. And this is oil-based paint, so you could probably just get away with a black Sharpie if you really wanted to. I'm doing that. Okay, so going back to, I'm going to cut out of some vellum. Again, not 100% sure if I'm actually going to use it, but it's there if I need it. Okay. Might subdue it more than I actually want it to. You know what? I don't think we need the vellum either, and I really don't want to cover up too much of that. So I'll save the vellum circle for another time, because what we're going to do is we're actually going to poke holes. I'll use some of that vellum, and I'm going to stamp out my sentiment. Thanks a Grillin. That's what we're going to do. Rethinking this just a bit, we'll pivot. You can actually see my mind in motion here, I guess, huh? Okay. Okay, so we've got our grill pieces. I'm not going to put those on just yet. I'm going to stamp this. All right. We're going to use an anti-static powder tool. And then I've got my little tray here. We're going to stamp our sentiment. I'm actually going to use, I think I'm going to use the VersaFine Clair. It's a pigment ink, so it should stay wet for a second. I'll get this ready. This is called, I don't know if these things are still available, Midnight Sky. And so it's got some glittery bits to it. I just think that would be kind of fun. So I'm going to ink this up and we'll get it nice and ready. And cover it. Okay. Ooh, that looks good. So let's heat set it. Now because it is glitter underneath, I'm going to start at the bottom. Try to get that started, warmed up. And it should go pretty quickly because it's on vellum. Okay, that was pretty fast. All right. So that we don't make any more of a mess than we already have. Because there's still a little bit of a mess I made. Okay. All right, and then this will actually cut out each of the letters separately, or each of the words, not letters, each of the words. And then I'm going to just run this through my die cutting machine real quick. But it's such a cute little set. Okay. So let's pull out our light. We'll play around with it. I'm going to poke holes, and those holes are going to be where these come through. So, all right, this is a 5-pack. I've actually already used one, so now we're down to 3. But y'all know how I love to light up a card. Okay, easy enough. And then I'll put these back in there. All right. Plus side just needs to be up. Put that in, and everything's working. So I think I'm just going to poke holes where I want them to be. So there's no real rhyme or reason to that, but I will put my lights through those holes is what I'm going to do. And I gotta see if I can find my tape. I usually like to use a little bit of Scotch tape. Can't find it, so we're gonna use washi. And goodness knows I got plenty of that, so. Okay. So I just wanna make sure that the light is poked through. And I'm gonna put that right up against the light. We'll do it for all three of them. Okay, and then you can see the light shining through. All right. All right, so we need to get our card ready. This is where our card-shaped, or circle-shaped card die will come in. If I can get it out of here. Okay, there we go. And I'm just going to use a regular, like a normal card. So this will fit into a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch envelope, an A2 size envelope. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff wrapped up. So we'll use some more of that double, or the washi tape. And the only other thing I'm going to need is some foam tape. The double-sided foam tape, the world's best foam tape, because it is the world's best. See exactly where I wanted to put that again. I wanted it to be down so I could put my sentiment up there. So it's going to be here. I can put a little bit of foam tape there. And it's okay if it covers up the wires. As long as it doesn't cover up the light. All right, so now I'm going to peel off the release paper. This is what makes that, one of the things that makes this, I mean, I love this stuff. Love it. Okay. And then let's make sure we know where our, all right. Okay, so there's where my push button is. So if you open the card, there's your push button. I need to put this down on top. So we're going to go ahead and just around the circle. Okay. Just remembering where our little okay. Then we could put our grates down. And this only needs like little dots of glue. You don't need to go too crazy, just need to make sure that it stays down. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's so stinking cute. Thanks. Grillin. Okay, and so because this is vellum, you want to be strategic where you put your glue, so just put little dots of it behind the letters. Because it is vellum and it will show where you've put your glue. If you go past that. Again, try not to go over the top of where, and I've got this off to an angle. I wanted it to be off to an angle, so we're gonna, it's fine. But I gotta also remember that I need to put the push, like push here. Okay. Thanks, brilliant. And there's the push button. Doing it the whole way. All right, and then I am going to bring in my little Pearblossom Press stamp set. Don't need my washi anymore. Okay. So I'm going to stamp on the back my made by. And then I'll also stamp handmade for you. Then I just have one more thing to stamp, and it's going to say push. So I'll just use some, here I'll use a little bit of the grill color, this like off color. I'm just going to stamp push at the top. And then we'll trim it down. I'm actually just going to trust myself to cut as straight as I can. Even if I don't. It's a homemade card, right? Okay, the press is, or push is there. So we will okay. I love it. Oh my goodness. So you've got your grill lit up. Thanks a Grillin. And you got a circle card that's going to fit into an A2 size card. All right, so I would love to know what you think of this format. Is this something that you like? Obviously, I've edited a few parts of it where there was a lot of lag, but this may be the way I do a lot of my videos from now on that are just videos that I want to make rather than the ones that I make for companies. Those will still be fairly sped up, but I would love to know what you think. So leave a comment down in the comment section down below and I will read them. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.